The problem is that the politicians and the transnational oil companies are in bed together. They are in unholy wedlock. And they work together, they support one another, and there's a revolving door between policymakers and industry players. There's no situation where corporations elect political leaders. It's the people who elect them, and they have to listen to us. That is a real big question indeed. Transformation has many components, as many people have said a lot of things, but I think basically we must have a dream of where we want to go, what kind of future we want, and then we look at what is stopping us from getting to where we want to go. If it's because of injustice, then we have to fight those injustices. If it's the power of corporations, polluting our environment, stopping us from living a useful or acceptable life, then of course we have to challenge and deconstruct those corporations. We just have to, transformation has to be a radical change, because transformation is not reformation. It means we need to go from where we are to exactly where we want to be. And sometimes it could be surprising where we get, but having a dream and a focus is the first thing. And my focus and what I believe many of us would want is to have a planet where we live in harmony with Mother Earth. Yeah, it's really big, and also it could be complicated because paradigm shift to what? I'll go back to the first answer I gave. We must have a future that we want. For for some people and some organizations and entities, their vision may be to dominate completely and to subjugate everything to their whims and caprices. So for them, paradigm shift would be a situation where nobody has freedom and where nature is put on the market shelf. Everything is commodified. But I think the real paradigm shift for most people and for me, and hopefully for many people who think this way, is to move from a lifestyle that is based on happiness from accumulation to a lifestyle of solidarity, of respect, of dignity, and not of accumulation and competition and destruction. So it takes a mindset that is not based on whatever the market detects, because we've known that the market does not have a hidden hand. The hand of the market has been unveiled and is visible, and we know those who are driving the market. So we cannot pretend that there are not known forces driving the market. And if we agree that we know who is driving the market, then we should say, no, the market is driving us in the wrong direction. And no matter how far you go in the wrong direction, you're not going to get to the right destination. Yeah, leaving fossil fuels is, I believe, is what simple common sense dictates right now. Because we've had documentations from the World Bank, from the International Energy Agency, even from private consultancies, all saying the same thing, that what has been discovered already, if utilized, will lead to extreme global warming. But you see, rather than stopping extraction or even halting the exploration into more pristine and delicate and fragile ecosystems, transnational oil corporations are moving as if there's no warning, as if use of fossil fuel is the best thing that can happen to planet Earth and the people, as if we must keep on moving at the same speed and go in the same direction as we've been going for the past 150 years or thereabout. So this is a challenge. We need, when we talk about paradigm shift, we really need a mental shift also, because the fossil fuel civilization is headed to a dead end. And it's not a dead end that would bring any good to anybody or to the planet. This is already so surprising when we look at a country like Norway that has shown leadership in terms of extraction and utilization of revenue from oil or the oil sector. Now, the Norwegian oil has peaked and is reducing. But rather than move away and invest in alternative energy, the national oil company is moving to tar sands in Canada. It's trying to go into the Arctic to drill. It's going to a nature, would I say, World Heritage location like Lofoten to drill oil. All these are very, very challenging and really very disturbing. But I believe that we all have to accept that leaving the oil in the soil, the coal in the hole, the tar sands in the land, and no fracking at all is the way that would ensure that we have a planet that we can recognize and life as humans as we recognize it. And we are building linkages with fishermen in Lofoten to fishermen in Nigeria, because the challenge for us also is not just about sharing experience about oil pollution, which is endemic in Nigeria and is rare in Norway, but we're concerned that no system is foolproof and oil spills could occur, and if oil is drilled in Norway, it will affect the spawning grounds of cod, and cod is part of our cultural diet in Nigeria. So we have personal interest in this struggle, and we don't want the livelihood of the fishermen to be destroyed, neither do we want our diet to be altered.